me of that as we're going in.
You think? 4-1 on Oasis is 1-2-3 in recent times, in their most recent map histories, so this could be a good map for them. They're also good on control. However, eUnited also pretty dominant on control too. Pretty much looking at their map histories, anything that 1-2-3 does well, eUnited does a little bit better. So it's going to be a gutsy performance if 1-2-3 is going to find themselves coming out of this one.
Well, I do think if 1-2-3 is going to have any reasonable path to victory here, it probably has to come from control. So they need to set the tempo here early and fast. They need to take Oasis and get eUnited off their game, and also just give themselves more buffer room to get to another control map and give themselves more chances to sneak away and escort a hybrid or an assault. I think getting assault away from eUnited would be very difficult from what we saw earlier. So again, you take a look at the map setup. 1-2-3 must come out here in the best of ways on Oasis, or it's going to be a very tough series for them.
Laser Kittens was able to steal away Oasis from eUnited in the earlier set that we saw. That was the 1 in the 3-1 matchup, but of course there was a very strong Sombra strategy involved with that, which is something we haven't necessarily seen out of 1-2-3. Does not appear that we'll be seeing that from 1-2-3 this time either. They are running an Ana, though, a little bit of an interesting wrinkle.
Well, we saw Bach flex to Ana a little bit earlier, and he wasn't bad on it. Got very key sleep targeted, but again, Boombox! Immediately before we can even set the stage, Boombox finds Snillo, says hello, welcome to eUnited's playground, and this is already pretty tough for 1-2-3.
The reason we didn't talk about Boombox earlier is if you don't know who Boombox is by now, you better ask somebody, because he has been wrecking through this tournament. There's not a whole lot more to say about him. Gets those entry kills. He is the power play Zenyatta.
He's effectively a DPS at times, and I would actually argue, I mean, we'd have to get the stats to back it up, but it feels like he gets more opening kills than the average DPS period, and the one thing, no, eUnited isn't able to get control of this despite the early pickup.
Silly.
1-2-3 sneaks the point away, and eUnited, despite how they started this out, despite the fact that they should have grabbed this immediately, 1-2-3 scraps it out, and now they can delay this for a while. They get the early sound barrier, and suddenly they've caught eUnited very off guard.
The two players who have to play very well are going to be the supports. It's been a day about supports, about support ultimates, and I think Denia and Bach have it in them to play at that level. That is a super earlier barrier. Morte was still 20% away when they busted out that barrier, and all of this early cap leads to nearly a third already taken on the point progress.
And now eUnited, they have to blow the sound barrier to try and get better control, but they haven't really come close to removing all of 1-2-3 off the point. So eUnited went from being very firmly in control to now struggling to get back into this, and Mistakes is eating them alive in the back. No one is really pressuring him. It's got to be up to Valitalia to get on him and check him, because he has been one of the most impactful players, 1-2-3, short of Snillo.
We talked a little bit about teams being sloppier earlier, but I somewhat disagree with it when it comes to 1-2-3. Sometimes maybe they use too many ults at once, but for the most part, their economy has been pretty sound. If you look what they've done here, Sound Barrier to stall out, Primal Rage to stall, a Self-Destruct to stall, and they're about to go through the loop again and have another Sound Barrier up. Meanwhile, 70% already taken on the point.
This is scary for eUnited, but Cruz looking to make it a little bit better, but no, isn't able to do it. Gets Snillo and immediately runs afoul of Kodak. So already, the Dragon Blade doesn't do remotely what eUnited wants, and unfixed, he's going for a dive.
Yeah, that is one way to ruin a $1 million mech right there. This 1-2-3 team has come out and they are stomping. This has been all 1-2-3, not even close. They've used all their ults in succession and just been having this amazing stall game. Snillo's held this visor forever. He doesn't even need it.
Hex, how powerful is eUnited's curse if 1-2-3 actually gets a series? I know it's the first map, but this is not a good omen for eUnited to start things off.
Well, not over quite yet. Mistakes is coming in, and he is playing every bit as good as Valu. There comes a Self-Destruct over the top. They're going to chase it in with a Transcend. Does take out Snillo.
Does take him out, and eUnited right now, they're just trying to get this even. It is 4v4, so they've done that, but they need to decisively bring 1-2-3 up the point to even start their own control. But lucky for them, that's exactly what they're doing. They're able to take down the last few people onto that point, and though Kodak is delaying, 1-2-3 has to give it up. Still though, all they need to do is get just one good fight here, Hex, and they will take this round away from eUnited.
I just really loved how they use their ultimate. They really understand how to play Oasis in my mind when you're using ultimates like that, because early on that fight's not decisive and they use Sound Barrier just to buy time. They use Primal Rage just to buy time. Speaking of, that's going to be up again. Self-Destruct could come in and zone them out as well. The only big threat on the field for eUnited is going to be a Sound Barrier Blade combo, which is really about loaded up.
well, that can be a very big threat indeed. Cruz has been very good with his Dragon Blades, and we'll see if he's going to be able to find a way through this time. Both teams fighting out here on the point, and yeah, Primal Rage comes out, gonna be knocking Cruz back a bit, and he gets a sound barrier just a little bit late, but it's gonna be answered by a sound barrier in turn, so it's still not the best opportunity to go in for a blade. He actually gets poked down really low while this is going on, and he can't bring out the blade yet. Meanwhile, 1-2-3 is swarming onto the point, so Cruz was not able to crack the puzzle of the 1-2-3 engage, and eUnited might pay the price with a round loss here.
Another great staggered ultimate from Bach does bring it in, and a bomb comes in onto Unfixed with the D-Mech, and then the subsequent destruction of Pilot Diva all over, but the cry in here for eUnited on the first stage. I'm stunned.
Well, Transcendence is coming in, and here comes the Desperation Dragon Blade. Cruz looking to do what he wasn't able to do in the last fight, and he is hitting pay dirt. It's a triple kill from Cruz. Better late than never, and eUnited still having a breath of life. Here's Cruz going absolutely off to bring eUnited right back in.
What I meant to say is all over but the crying, unless they get a 5K out of Cruz, which they did. That's always the caveat I say. You know, always keep that in mind. That unless a 5K comes is how I end most of my sentences.
Might be worth noting that eUnited might have been crying during that, but then Cruz says, guys, I got this.
No more tears, here comes the blade.
So that sounds like a scenario for more tears, Hex. I'm not sure.
I live an interesting life. It's going to be about 70%, probably the last major fight incoming here, trying to figure out who's got anything loaded up. It is mostly just Unfixed. These ults have come out. Here comes Unfixed all over the top. Finds two, unable to run away. Tonic and Bach, that's brutal. I think they should bail because they have one more fight to come in. You can't take this 4v6.
No, you absolutely do not want to go in there after the Diva has taken her pound of two people. So one thing to note is that Mistakes is in a very aggressive position here, so he's going to gamble that he can get into the back line and find Boombox. Boombox is his target. He's diving into the back. Pulse Bomb is out, and it connects. It finds Voltaya by pure chance. He just blinks into it, gives Mistakes a gift, but now eUnited is under pressure. They have to sound barrier and go all in on the counter engage. Their blade is out. Oh, no! He's not able to drop the beat. The blade stopping the music midway through. But 1-2-3 is not to be denied. They don't need the music to come back in here, Hex, and they're still keeping it strong. And the upside is that Deanna might be coming back in with that sound barrier.
Yeah, Deanna might be coming back. If he can Taxi and Snillo, they can have a really big combination here, too. They do break it down. Snillo is so close to a visor as well. This is not over quite yet because this is Oasis, ladies and gentlemen. He busts out the visor a little early just to use it, I think. Does not find much, but does get Cruz.
Snillo is so good at cleanup tac visors, and he's doing it here again. He's taking out the scraps of eUnited. He's throwing them off the point, and 1-2-3 might have just brought this thing back here, Hex. They recap the point. Overtime is over, and 1-2-3 showing themselves not to be taken lightly here as they surprise eUnited on the University.
Might be in for a good one, boys, if that is any indication. I enjoyed that immensely, and I think that they're going to have a little bit of luck, like a pulse bomb on the ground that Valu decides to run into. Things like that have to be bouncing their way to pull this back, and this is Snillo at the very end. He was dead before this. They did another great stall-out job. He comes in, hits a mid-air helix on the Sharik.
Snillo has had some of the best soldier cleanup that we have seen all day long, period. He's actually made a very big name for himself here, where before we looked at 1-2-3, we were really focused on Mistakes, and while he has been monstrous, Snillo has really been the other indispensable part of that 1-2 DPS punch combo.
Well, you can't take first with a single DPS. You need two, sometimes you need three. Everyone has to be chipping in on that. I said it before we even saw the first match of 1-2-3. I think Denia has been such a good Lucio for this team. Standout Lucios are hard to really find, but he's been one of them.
Well, Hex, we've entered the city center, and this means might be a while till one team gets control of the point.
Yeah, if you showed me this, I could tell you it's Europe because there's no Pharahs. In North America, the sky would be littered with Rocket Queens.
EU tends to stick a little bit more to the ground, and again, both teams being really conservative on how deep they go here. I think United's being a little bit more aggressive, shown by the part that 1-2-3 is getting pushed back a bit, but now they're coming back in, and neither team is really going to the other team's backline here. They're doing this poke war, but Snillo finds Morty, takes him down early on, and that is the signal to go for 1-2-3. They're going to get deep into United's backline, and they're going to clean up, but Sharik holding it in just a little.
He gets both supports, which is really big, but before that, Snillo had already gone off yet again. This man, 76, has been a revelation. Definitely a player to watch as we go forward, and you will see this team as we go forward. Pulse Bomb hits the ground. Mistakes gets a case of tinnitus from Morty, but they have taken control of the point.
Morty getting a little bit of revenge there, avoiding getting wrecked. But now eUnited is stuck in what is a tough situation, Hex. It's trying to find a way to cleanly retake City Center, where getting 1 kill isn't enough. You have to remove 1-2-3 from the entire lane. 1-2-3, you already see how they're playing right now. They're on the point, but not really. They're making eUnited dive into them with this Transcendence. Now let's see if eUnited can convert. The blade comes out from Cruz, and he is chasing people down with a vengeance. Gets 1 already, but that's about going to be it. But the damage, Hex, very well could have been done.
It was a forced transcend. The only reason Boombox popped that is they got him very low in the back line. They tried to turn it into something because he wanted to stay alive, so they tried to get the blade in there, but not an ideal combination to use a support and a blade to get only 1 kill. And Boombox again punished in the back line. Both supports now down for eUnited. Yet again, this damage is permanent, and that means eUnited just going to pull back.
eUnited has met their match with 1-2-3 here on Control, and again, it's worth knowing that eUnited didn't exactly wow us on Control in the last series.
Yeah, they lost Oasis earlier.
So, I mean, it's not doom and gloom. This is the best of 7. You have to be good across the board to take this, but this is a much stronger opening from 1-2-3 than expected. And look at Mistakes. Creeping right now, ready to use the elevator to spell. Oh no, he just immediately finds Boombox. Boombox versus Tracer, and Boombox holding his own, forces him back. That's why he's one of the scariest Zens in the game.
That's the last Zen in the world you want in a 1v1. Meanwhile, Snillo and the Self-Destruct combined for 3.5.
Snillo cleaning up there. I'm not even sure Boombox was able to get back into that fight. He was a little bit away, but I gotta tell you, Snillo, when he activates Tac Visor, he's able to do it in situations where he's not getting nullified by a D.Va. He's able to read the situation, and it doesn't matter what the D.Va player has been. Snillo has been very good at finding his way in.
I've remained to be impressed by the economy of 1-2-3. Yeah, that's it.
Well, eUnited wasn't really able to get back on the point.
Did nothing. Every time I look at them and the bar across the top, they've got something. They've got something in their pocket to use. They don't end up using everything. They've been staggering ults really well. We praised eUnited for their ult usage, their support ults, and their economy, and those are things that I think 1-2-3 also does well. Maybe not at the same level, but they've got the correct pieces in place to build on.
1-2-3, it just feels like they've been gaining in power as the tournament has gone on, where you're right, they have the key pieces in place, and while I've focused a lot on Mistakes and Snillo, you don't get this far without good tank and support play. And honestly, Tonic, Kodak, they've been impressive in their engages in the space that they've made for Snillo, because any soldier that's doing well generally has space being made for him.
eUnited's gonna try something new. Time to bust out the pharmacy combo. It is Mort and Cruz gonna be taken to the skies there, so I think that it's going to be up to Snillo a lot to deal with that over top, and why not? You just lost 2-0. You haven't really looked all that grand, especially in the last stage, so try something new. This is a great stage for Pharmacy anyway. This is why we always see it in NA.
This is one of the very best stages for a Pharmacy. I mean, the main thing, you got to avoid D.Va self-destructs going over the ocean, but short of that, you have the run of it. Now, the question is, will Cruz be able to make the most of this aerial presence where he doesn't have to worry about another Pharah, just needs to win the ground war, and Snillo says, no way! Takes down Cruz with the well-placed headshot from the Pulse Rifle, and already the Pharmacy is down, and eUnited is going to be giving up this point in all likelihood.
Well, Bach also helping out with that too. Of course, you have to Discord the combination if you want your soldier to have any chance against it. Yeah, but just don't even bother Mistakes. Boombox is terrifying. All right, finally he gets help over there, and they do collapse on Boombox and punish him.
How do you attack Boombox? Bring 3 friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's the smart way to do it. You don't have to 1v1 him, I mean, unless your pride gets in the way, but no point in pride. You'd rather just take the match. They have taken control, taken up to over 20% now.
Hex, why have pride when you can fight dirty and just, like, treat Zenyatta like he's the Omnic from the Dorado cinematic?
Why have pride when you can fight dirty is your ethos when it comes to all games and competition.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hex.
You're scummy.
I will throw everyone in a fighting game, but we are getting right back into this here. Unfixed. Good position here in the 76, able to take down his counterpart, and Cruz, now he doesn't have to worry about the 76 Hex. The skies are open, but he's still under pressure despite the lack of 76 in play. He's able to get healed up, though, comes right back in, deals with Kodak, and eUnited has created enormous amounts of space for themselves here in this fight. The question is, can they decisively throw 1-2-3 off of it?
It's just a little late on the Transcendence there. They wanted to keep Kodak alive so that he could pressure down this combo with the self-destruct over the body of water there. They finally get all of the kills they need. A little bit of stall coming out from Mistakes, who's going to rewind here. They've got the D.Va back on here, so not quite over yet. It's a hard point to flip back, and Mistakes being so elusive right now.
Mistakes is so good at delaying and giving 1-2-3 time where they shouldn't have it.
Oh,
but
they got
there
it
is a
because he
limit.
was on high ground. Like, Kodak was there. All right, got taken out. eUnited will flip the point back over.
they'll flip it back over. Now the question is, how long can they hold it? They do have a good position right now, and they're up in kills, but Mistakes has really been unaccounted for. He's been in the back, slowly chipping away at them, and now you take a look at Snillo. He's going to be coming in with the Tact Visor and have decent support to go with it.
Have we seen a resurrection yet out of Morty?
I'm not sure we've seen a big res at all, or
I don't think we've seen any res.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any res. It's kind of been a rough time for him. Now,
It's a little bit interesting. I think it might just be practice on it, because you should have a chance to bring up 1 or 2 by this point in time. Holding a res is not a great idea. But they're going to have it for the next fight, so I guess all that is past does not mean much here.
Maltai going for the stick, doesn't get it here just yet, but 1-2-3 is heavily poked as they try and engage. This is a really rough engagement for them so far. They have to back up a bit, heal up, which they have done, and now coming back in, Sharik is out of the equation, and they've found their way through, but Morty is there, gonna bring up the Fallen, so 1-2-3, what more do you have? Well, they got Transcendence and Tact Visor, so they're doubling down and trying to take this as Cruz just hides over the ocean.
Has to get out of there. It's a resurrection, but it only brings them back to full strength. They get off of the point, and now 1-2-3 has taken it back over, climbing up to 80%.
That is the one thing you cannot do on this stage when you have control. Plenty of members of eUnited were still up, but they were zoned out by the tactical visor, and they didn't get back on in time. That is a terrible mistake by eUnited, and it very well could cost them the round, which at this point, Hex, would cost them the map.
You have to be able to dance, even when you're jumping around and avoiding things. Someone has to toe tap the point, get on there just to make sure you have a presence here. Morty has switched off of the Pharah. He's now on to just a Lucio and said that was probably just to get back to the point on time, but it does leave Cruz in a very vulnerable position. He's got Barrage, but he also has about 20 HP.
Well, 1-2-3 is breaking it down there, countering support ultimate with support ultimate as they try and withstand this last moment eUnited barrage. And speaking of barrages, quite literally, Cruz coming in, close quarters, has the barrage at the ready. Not a great position to put it down here just yet, but he is waiting. He is creeping. Might just use it to blow up this Winston here in just a moment.
It's very possible. He's going to get a little bit higher up, try to get himself to save. 36 HP means that he is very vulnerable right now, has to run away. He does end up using it on that soldier in particular, but they trade out a couple kills. Overtime, bye!
Oh no, eUnited not able to stay in. And that's a little bit uncharacteristic for eUnited. They're generally pretty good at stalling out.
You think that's pressure? You think that's nerves? You think that's eUnited kings of second place? Or is it just Oasis?
I mean, right now, I'm going to go with my logic here because curses aren't logical, right? I don't like to think they are. However, if eUnited drops the next map, I will be very worried on their behalf, but absolutely ecstatic for 1-2-3 because, again, you think back to the point contenders. This was to highlight new players, new teams onto the scene, and how just symbolic of that would that be if 1-2-3 did come in and they took another map and they took the series.
It's so important for them to win the first one. That's the confidence you need as a new team coming in of like, hey, we're just happy to be here, guys. Really cool to be in the finals of like, we can beat these guys. We're in this for sure.